on their own, turned into their own place.
Which has happened.
Uh-huh.
Oh, 220. My cousin did my hair. Yeah, but I'm gonna take it out next month because I'm in a wedding.
Oh, I got 7 o'clock now. I'm going to call the regular council meeting for the city of Ashtabula to order. Today is Monday, July 15th, 2024. If at this time we would please stand for the prayer and a pledge of allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we ask you to let your inspiration precede this council's actions and all present here today, and your assistance further us so that every word and work of ours may take its beginning from you, and so begun, may through you reach its completion. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And so, Miss Bell, if you will, for the third time, call the roll.
Ms. Holman, Mrs. Mills,
Here.
Mrs. DiGiacomo,
Here.
Mrs. Foglio,
Here.
Mr. Guerrero,
Here.
Mr. Simeone,
Here.
Mr. Roskovich,
Here.
Mr. Timonier,
Here.
Ms. Cooper, Mrs. Augustin,
Here.
Ms. Bell.
Thank you. And at this time, I will entertain a motion to excuse Ms. Holman from tonight's meeting.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Motion by Mrs. DiGiacomo, second by Mrs. Foglio. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will excuse Ms. Holman by a 6-0 vote. Thank you. We are meeting the Sunshine Law certification and all the requirements, so we're good to go. Tonight, we're going to deviate from our normal agenda, and at this time, we are going to have a presentation from our city manager and from Mrs. Mills, the head of our Public Works Department. And at this time, we are going to honor Mr. Craig Pierce, who will be retiring from our city this evening. So if you would like to. Mr. Pierce, would you like to join them up here at the front?
Surprise. Craig, as a chair of Public Works Public Utilities Committee, I've thoroughly enjoyed interacting with you in the city. I want to thank you for all your hard work and service to the city of Ashtabula. And being a Class 4 operator in high demand, you could choose anywhere to work and probably make a lot more money. We thank you for choosing the city of Ashtabula to call home for all these years. A Class 4 operator comes with unsurpassed knowledge that you must have to operate all the systems at the plant. Recently, I went down to the plant, and I'm just amazed at how intricate it is, and that all the machines, all the numbers, every 2 hours that you have to walk around, 2 hours at a minimum to see what's happening. The city of Ashtabula wants you to know that after all these years, you'll be missed, and that your dedication to the city means something. You have made a positive impact on safety, and you also have worked building numerous relationships with neighboring municipalities. We wish you well in your next life chapter. Remember, retirement, it's the weekend, only longer. And I found this little, found a little poem, a retirement blessing to you. You've worked real hard, you've come this far. I hope you know how blessed you are. New tomorrows, brand new plans, all of them are in God's hands. You'll have more hours in the day to hope, to dream, to rest, to play. You'll find new ways to be inspired. Congratulations, you're retired.
Thank you. So it's been an absolute pleasure working with you for a little over 10 years now. The advancements that you've made at the plant, the morale that you have boosted down there, couldn't have done it without you. It's been a rough couple years when we started out, and you just came in and got things done, and you were a relief to me of how much knowledge you had even coming into our plant right from the go, and calming me down a lot of times and getting things done. So on behalf of City Council and on behalf of our administration, a resolution honoring Craig Pierce on his retirement from the City of Ashtabula. Whereas it has come to the attention of this City Council and these public officials of the City of Ashtabula, Ohio, that after more than 10 years of service as Water Pollution Control Superintendent, Craig Pierce is retiring. And whereas after serving our country in the U.S. Air Force, Mr. Pierce started his career in 1989 with the City of Conneaut, working his way from pipe layer to the position of wastewater superintendent before joining the City of Ashtabula in 2014. And whereas Mr. Pierce is one of only 231 active Class 4 wastewater treatment operators in the state of Ohio as of the Ohio EPA's most recent publication on May 28, 2024. And whereas Mr. Pierce has been involved in millions of dollars in upgrades to the wastewater treatment plant, making conditions safer for our residents and employees. He has enhanced and developed the city's operator training efforts and restructured the industrial pre-treatment program so successfully that other municipalities now reach out to the City of Ashtabula for guidance and assistance with their programs. And whereas Mr. Pierce has grown interagency communications between local municipal wastewater operators from Conneaut to Paynesville. And whereas Mr. Pierce has an overwhelming love and passion for treating wastewater and is to be commended for his dedication to the wastewater industry, as well as his commitment to the City of Ashtabula and its citizens. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this City Council and these public officials of the City of Ashtabula, Ohio, do hereby convey to Mr. Craig Pierce our sincere congratulations on your retirement and thank you for your service to the City of Ashtabula and the County of Ashtabula.
Thank you, Jim.
Craig, do you want to say a few words?
Okay, we will continue on with our meeting. We have no request for executive sessions, and we will at this time approve minutes.
July 1st, 2024, the public hearing was called to order at 6:00 p.m. by Council President Roscovics. Present were Mr. Roscovics, Mr. Simeone, Mrs. Foglio, Mr. Guerrero, Mrs. Mills, Ms. Holman, and Mrs. Giacomo. Officers present were City Manager Timonier, City Solicitor Cecilia Cooper, Finance Director Marie Evros Augustin, and Clerk of Council Ashley Bell.
May I have a motion regarding waiving the reading of the minutes in their entirety?
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Mills moves and Mrs. Foglio seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the reading of the July 1st minutes by a 6-0 vote.
July 1st, 2024, regular council meeting was called to order at 7:00 p.m. by Council President Roscovics. Vice President Simeone offered the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance was recited. Present, Mr. Roscovics, Mr. Simeone, Mrs. Foglio, Mr. Guerrero, Mrs. Mills, Ms. Holman, and Mrs. Giacomo. Officers present were City Manager Timonier, City Solicitor Cooper, Finance Director Augustin, and Clerk of Council Bell.
May I have a motion regarding the waiving of these minutes in their entirety?
I'll move on that.
Second.
Mr. Guerrero moves.
Second.
Mrs. Mills seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the minutes of the reading of the minutes by a 6-0 vote. Excuse me. Thank you. All right, we will now go on to our administrative team, our city council reports. City Council, I have no formal request to be made at this time. City Manager,
Thank you, Mr. President. A few ordinances to ask for tonight. First, I would like an ordinance to enter into an agreement with the Ashtabula County Board of Developmental Disabilities for the receipt of a $500,000 ARPA grant for the purpose of installing an accessible and inclusive playground at Walnut Beach Park.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
we have a motion by Mrs. Foglio,
Second.
second by Mr. Guerrero. Any discussion? This, we already had the groundbreaking on this, and so now we have the funds, and this will be done by December, according to the grant application. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it to our agenda by a 6-0 vote.
Next, I would like an ordinance to authorize the hiring of Mark Verzella as the superintendent at the Water Pollution Control Plant and to approve additional paid vacation leave and compensation.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Foglio, second by Mr. Simeon. Any discussion?
Mr. President?
Yes.
I'd like to say that I think we're very lucky that we do have somebody that can jump into this role, who's been already, doing this and trained. It's hard to find these Class 4 operators, and I know that Mr. Verzella, he eats, sleeps, and breathes that plant down there. So we're lucky that we have this passing of the baton, the torch, or whatever you want to say. Like I said before, these Class 4 operators are in high demand. They can go anywhere to work and make a lot of money. So we thank you that you want to stay here in Ashtabula and work here and doing a fantastic job. So I just wanted to add that note.
Thank you, Mrs. Mills. Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We'll add it to our agenda by a 6-0 vote.
So just to expound on that, I guess we don't have to keep reminding them how much money they can make elsewhere, but.
He promised me he's not leaving.
That's right. Yeah. To see Craig and Mark work together all these years, Mark was a great find for us, and we are very excited to have him come here. And I think that's a lot to do with Craig as well. These two work extremely well together. They've learned a lot from each other. I've learned a ton from both of them. Craig has definitely set up the succession planning at the plant perfectly. I could not have asked for a better duo down there. And hopefully we find somebody just as capable for Mark going forward, or we have to find somebody, or you keep reminding him how much money he can make elsewhere. I think we're in very good hands. And I know Craig is not going to be far away. I know he can't stay still for long, so I'm sure we can call on him when need be as well. Next, I would like an ordinance to enter into the 8th Amendment to the Ashtabula Township JET Agreement.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
We have a motion by Mrs. Foglio.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Mills. Any discussion? This is the property on Route 20 between Aldi's and the Drug Mart, and there will be some development taking there. So we're not saying what. But we're not getting, no, everybody knows it's going to be a Starbucks, yeah. And, and a couple of weeks ago, they gave the president immunity that he could do whatever, so I could say whatever I want, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add that to our agenda by a 6-0 vote.
Next, I would like an ordinance to authorize payment of $13,015.94 to ODOT for various change orders incurred on project Route 20 PID 94073.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Ms. Foglio moves. Mr. Roscovics will second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it to our agenda by a 6-0 vote.
Next, I would like an ordinance to repeal and replace codified ordinance section 110501 for the purpose of adopting a new section.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Motion by Mrs. Foglio, second by Mr. Roskovich. Again, this came out of the Economic Development Committee meeting, and it is regarding temporary structures in the city and such. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it to our agenda by a 6-0 vote.
Lastly, I'd like an ordinance to enter into an agreement with Bropes Tree and Stump Service in Ashtabula, Ohio, in the amount not to exceed $17,950 for the purpose of removing trees in various locations in the city of Ashtabula. Funding for this expense will be taken from Fund 205.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Mrs. Foglio moves.
Second.
Mrs. Mills seconds. Any discussion?
Yeah, I just have a comment. I know we're taking trees down in the park. My hope is that we can plant new trees in their place.
Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it to our agenda by a 6-0 vote.
Mr. President, that's all I had for my report today.
Does anybody have anything for the manager?
Mr. President, I do. This weekend, I had the opportunity to talk to our Ward 2 councilman, our other Ward 2 councilman before Mr. Guerrero, Calvin Crawford, and he wanted me to bring up some crosswalk issues he has. The first one is the hospital. There's 2 crosswalks, and I drove here today and I looked at it. There are 2 crosswalks about 6 feet apart, and he said the problem is they use both crosswalks, so people don't, either they stop for one or don't stop for the other, or don't stop for either one of them. So he wondered if why we have 2 crosswalks that are just 6 feet apart, and will one be blocked off and it'll just be one walkway?
Actually, there'll eventually be 2 crosswalks out there. The one that's kind of in the middle where the island is now,
Right.
that one was the one that used to be the crosswalk. They are redoing the lights there, so we have to move, because remember Rogers Road was just that one
Right,
direction.
right, yeah, I
So
noticed
now
that.
that pole that's straight where you actually enter into Rogers Road, that pole has to be moved to the north. And then there will be kind of, I guess you'd say, on the outer edges of the entrance and exit, those will be where the crosswalks will be.
Okay, so
Yes.
they'll be farther apart, but
Yes.
there will be 2.
Correct.
Okay,
In the lights moving.
And the light is moving as
Right.
well. Yeah, so
Okay.
there'll be new ped heads out there as well for the crosswalks. Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
And another one that he noticed was right here outside the building. He said somebody was trying to, I think it was Chris, was trying to cross over to the municipal building, was having a hard time crossing the street because, everybody comes around that corner.
I don't think we have a crosswalk out here.
No, he wanted to know if we could put one there for our employees going.
Because this is not a stop going north or going south on Lake Avenue, I would not recommend that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last one is really mine. It's Bridge Street. When's Bridge Street going to be, the crosswalk's going to be?
As soon as the contractor gets them, I think they've laid them out,
Yes,
but they have
yes.
not painted them yet, so they still have to come back and do the painting.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I've received numerous messages in the last 2 weeks, and so I've tried to sum them up. I guess the request is for more police presence on Route 20, West Avenue, Main Avenue, West 58th, plus the side streets of West 58th. The complaints, speeding is number 1, reckless driving, illegal vehicles, loud stereo systems and mufflers, and people are hoping that there will be tickets given out for these offenses. Another complaint is weeds on the sidewalk. Do we have an ordinance about sidewalk weeds, or?
Well, I mean, it would fall under the nuisance, which is 8 inches, I think. But the sidewalks are the responsibility of the property owner. If there are certain areas that we need to target, we can do that. But that's basically just like mowing your lawn.
So 8 inches is the length?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if it's a weeded over sidewalk, we can have a conversation.
So what about the railroad tracks? Like the railroad tracks coming onto Main Avenue, there's some serious weeds growing there, and I think that is railroad property. What happens with that?
We would have to get a hold of the railroad.
Okay. And I'm sure you've been bombarded about the flooding issues, and I know that every time I get one, I do contact you, but I just want to know if there's any updates.
No, I mean, we have been out in the system after the flooding in some of those targeted areas where we got the most complaints on. We are not finding anything significant that would say there was a blockage that caused all this. It
Was just
truly was the amount of volume coming through. You can only fit so much through the pipes. The guys, I had them go to the Main Avenue underpass and investigate that again. It's a 30-inch pipe that's underneath there. It's clean. It's flowing. It's just a lot of water that comes running down that hill, all to one point and tries to get out from there. So, the ultimate solution there would be increasing the size of those pipes. What that size would be and how much that would cost is to be determined.
And within that note, I know I had asked you, but I'm just going to ask it publicly. So for all the people that were not insured, when something like this happens, FEMA is not something that we can call on?
No. We had a major flood. I mean, unless the governor declares the area a disaster area, there's no FEMA assistance for anything.
That's the governor's call.
Yeah.
Okay. I had concerns about trash bags opened by animals and the trash left behind. And I guess this would be a discussion maybe for a public works meeting, but should we have a no trash bag rule and only use trash cans? I don't know that answer. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if that would be something you'd be willing to take up in your meeting.
What are they saying, that if they're
They're
putting them
just
out the
saying
night
that
before?
the trash bags are getting ripped open and it's making a big mess.
I always say put them out in the morning before. If you put them out at night, that's bound to happen. I mean, I don't know but we can discuss it, sure.
Which also brought to the next question is, and I don't even know if you would know that answer, about recycling. When do you think?
Same answer I've
Is it
given
gonna
for the
part
last
and
couple
we're gonna-
years. It's whenever we get the funding to be able to do it. Yeah. It's going to be a big dollar amount.
And then on West Avenue, there's a no through trucks sign. And I guess on West Avenue to Bunker Hill, trucks are going through. So at the top of the hill, there is a no through truck sign. And that was
I'm
brought to my
almost
attention.
99.9% positive West Avenue is a truck route, so I'm not sure I would have
It's
to go.
at the top of the hill. If you're on Bunker Hill going down West Avenue, it has that sign, no through trucks.
I will have to,
Mr. Manager, she is correct, and I believe in our research, we found there's no ordinance passed through council backing that. I think somebody got themselves a through truck sign and stuck it on.
stuck it up there. That's what I was thinking. So we'll have to do a little bit more research on that, but thank you, Mr. Parkamaki, or Lieutenant Parkamaki. I cannot imagine that would not be a truck route because of coming off of, that's a state route, 534, or I'm sorry, Route 84 is a state route, and West Avenue is a highly commercial district going down to Route 20, so I can't imagine that would not be a truck route.
Well,
But
these
we'll
are
do a
just
little bit more
complaints
research
that
on
have been
that.
brought to me
Yeah.
that I brought
So
to
I'm
you.
wondering if that complaint might have put that sign up and then notified you that there was a sign up.
I
Because
doubt
that's
it.
happened before.
It's been up for at least a year.
Okay. Yeah. We'll take a look.
It's my neighbor. I doubt he would have done that.
Okay. Well, we've seen weirder things happen.
Mr. Manager, I had a couple calls on updates on homes to be demolished this year? Do we know?
I don't think the land bank has received the grant yet,
Okay.
so.
So we actually don't have the list of the homes yet?
Yes, you guys adopted a list a long time ago. It's, those were the ones that were declared blight, and now it's gonna be a matter of the funding that comes in
Okay.
and how many of them we're able to get down in the city, because remember, it's a countywide program,
Okay.
so.
And then, this was something, I don't know if anybody else has noticed this. The traffic light, and I went back through, and there is a sign with an arrow when you're by West 9th and Lake Avenue, and you're going south. So you're going towards McDonald's.
On Lake Avenue.
Yes.
Yes.
We have a lot of tourists, we have a lot of visitors. So when you're in the lane to turn to go on 9th, this has happened to me like 3 times in the last few weeks because I own a couple Airbnbs down there. I'm down there a lot. So instead of them turning, they'll continue to go straight. So I thought, I'm gonna go back and look, because maybe we need one of those signs with the arrow. There is one.
There's 4. So there are 3 of those signs as you approach the light, and then there's a sign up at the light.
Does the light actually have an arrow too?
I don't know that for sure. I don't know
It is
that for
just
sure.
such a strange area, and if you're not from here, I was thinking like an accident.
And that's one of the reasons we put so many signs out there. I believe there are 3 on the road leading up to it, and there's one up at the light that says, turn only in that lane.
It's just, every time we have these festivals and we have more people here, it's just, I kind of creep through there. I just assume, maybe you're not sure where you're going, but, and I had numerous calls when it was for the 4th of July, for the, since the fireworks were illegal. So I didn't know if I know Ms. Cooper's not here. Do we have any updates on any citations or anything?
I know that many citations were given. I don't know the grand total, but that's something that she can probably report on at Safety Forces.
Okay,
Yep.
all right, thank you.
Is there anything else for the manager? Seeing nothing, we will move on to our city, our finance director's report. Ms. Augustine?
Yes, Mr. President, we are requesting an ordinance adopting the tax budget of the city of Ashtabula for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2025, and submitting the same to the Ashtabula County, Ohio Budget Commission.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move on the finance director's recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Foglio, a second by Mr. Simeon. And this document has been on display for the allotted time or the required time,
For 10 days.
10 days. And so we're all set. Any discussion? Other than to thank you, Ms. Augustine, because it's a big document. It's a lot of work, so we appreciate you doing that. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it to our agenda by a 6-0 vote.
We are requesting an ordinance to make a supplemental increase to the general fund, indigent alcohol treatment fund, court special project fund, CDBG, housing code enforcement worker compensation for the current year expenses through December in the amount of $67,729.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Finance director.
Finance director, I'm sorry. I've got my nose in these figures.
Yeah. Motion by Mrs. Foglio, second by Mr. Roskovich. Any discussion?
Mr. President,
Yes.
can I ask, I'm looking at the one where it's the 10,729 allocation with the CDBG fund,
It's,
had to go before the grant closed?
yes, it's to expend the remaining fund awarded, we have to spend the fund by October 2024. So, we are requesting that allocation to increase, that budget. What happened with the CDBG is that because it's a reimbursement, grant, so you spend the money and then after that you go and you, draw the money. the PCD, they already projected that they're gonna need that amount of money, and they requested that we increase that revenue.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it to our agenda by a 6-0 vote. Thank you, Ms. Augustine.
You're welcome.
Ms. Cooper is not with us this evening, and Ms. Bell, you have.
No report.
Thank you very much. All right, at this time, we will have council committee reports. We did have a safety forces meeting last week, and with the police and the fire department. All their numbers are pretty similar to what they have been experiencing for the last, on their yearly charts. The June this year compared with June last year, and so forth. So there's been nothing that stands out. We did talk briefly about guns. If you may have read, there was an incident where there was a gun in one of our city parks, and there is we want to make it clear that there are no guns. Like there are no guns allowed in school zones. There are no guns allowed in city parks. That's part of our ordinance. And I know like the Ohio legislature, they want to create like the Wild West out here, but there's no concealed guns, no unconcealed guns in city parks. So we did talk about that. As a result of our fire, then we had our discussion with the fire chief, and one of the members mentioned that they had not seen lifeguards down Walnut Beach. And then come to find out that there haven't been lifeguards down Walnut Beach, even though we had a contract with the Y to provide them. The Y was saying that they have no lifeguards available most of the time. Nobody made us aware of that. And so Mr. Timoneer did some checking. So hopefully we're going to be able to see lifeguards down there more than we have. Also, we talked about, we were under the impression that the Coast Guard might be manning our station on the weekends, and that is no longer happening. The Coast Guard said they are not manning our station on the weekends, which is a concern because the day before the Safety Forces Committee, that's when we had 5 people floating on a cooler out in the middle of Lake Erie, and luckily there was a helicopter in the area that was able to save them, a helicopter that was called for another incident. So, just before you go on, then we did read the article where our Senator Brown, Sherrod Brown, is working to try to rectify that situation. Hopefully something can come from that.
So, Mr. President, I did just 2 updates on that. As far as the lifeguards at Walnut Beach, it has been a staffing issue with the YMCA. They have a class going on right now for certification. They hope to have those new lifeguards on duty soon. The newer lifeguards that are just certified now will stay at the Y, and their more senior lifeguards will go down to the beach, is what I'm being told. As far as the Coast Guard goes, we received a call Saturday that they were going to start manning the station again on the weekends, Friday through Monday. They did show up this weekend, and they were there. 2 of our platoons from the fire department did go down and worked out some logistics with them, had some communication back and forth. So we're hoping that this continues. We've got conflicting statements coming out from the Coast Guard that no, it's not going to happen, and the chief of the Erie, of Station Erie, basically sent guys down to us and said, they're, with everything that's been going on, we would like to try to man this during Friday through Monday. So as of this past weekend, they were here. It was a very welcomed site. Unfortunately, today, I believe there was another rescue going on from Geneva area. I think it was an unmanned kayak that they found out there, but I have not heard any details on that. I think with everything going on, as far as whether the Coast Guard is going to be here or not, the increased activity on the lake, people just need to be very, very cognizant of that lake. We're trying to do things, as far as our swimmers go at Walnut Beach to make them aware with the rip guard signage that were going up. We're also looking at some other devices possibly to help with safety down there. But, all in all, that lake could be as flat as glass 1 minute and the next minute have 2 to 3 foot waves. It's just very unpredictable. It's always been that way. So people just really need to be cautious, and if you're new to boating, jet skiing, kayaking, you really got to know what you're doing if you're planning on going out to the lake, leaving that breakwall and river area, and got to have a plan in case something happens. So this year we're seeing a lot more of those distress calls rather than just a breakdown, or there's a lot more distress calls, which is very, very concerning. So just really ask people to be cautious if they're out there.
Thank you, Mr. Timonir, for that update. That's good to have. Like I said, and the communication is important. We need, we need to know from the Y, we need to know from the Coast Guard, and especially in light of, like you say, things that are happening. Hopefully they'll be here for wine and walleye.
Well, we know they will be because we do ask for their assistance during the fireworks.
Okay, all right, very good. All right,
Mr. President,
yes.
Mr. Manager, would it be any help if there was anything we could do in support for the Coast Guard, like another letter that council signs or something to Senator?
Mr. President, so Ms. Mills, in December, you guys wrote a letter to all the various elected officials, to the Senator's office. Senator Brown's office has been in constant contact with me recently, and I did re-forward that email just as a refresher, the letter that you guys wrote in December. I don't think we need another one right now, but hopefully with some of these changes that are happening right now will become permanent, at least for now. And again, we understand it's a staffing issue with the Coast Guard as well, but we have a lot going on in our port. We have a lot going on our lake, not only in the city, but in Conneaut and all the way to Geneva. We really need their presence here, so we're fighting as hard as we can to do that.
Thank you. And thank you, Mrs. Mills, for that reminder. Anything else? The only other thing with regards to the Safety Forces Committee is that we have changed our meeting times from 8:45 to 8:30. So we were moving that up 15 minutes, and that's mostly for a logistical thing with the security systems and so forth. So the Safety Forces meetings will now be at 8:30. Community Development and Economic Development.
So our next meeting is going to be Tuesday, July 23rd at 5 o'clock. And the YMCA will be our guest. I had the privilege of sitting next to Tia Woodard while we were selling tickets for the golf outing. And she has some really great ideas to help prevent drownings that she's going to bring to that committee.
Thank you. Finance and Personnel.
Our meeting is this Friday, July 19th at 8:30.
Public Works.
Our next meeting is Tuesday, July 23rd, right here at 8:30, and our guest is Assistant Solicitor Catherine Colgan.
And then Safety Forces will be in August. So, all right, very good. All right, other committee reports. The Planning Commission did meet, and they approved the items that were on their agenda. The only thing that there was going to be a usage for the Rite Aid building on West Avenue and Route 20, and that sort of fell through. It was going to be a senior daycare, and that project has fallen through for whatever reason, and so that didn't need to be approved. The Historic Preservation Committee had their meeting last week. They approved construction of a house on Harbor High School property. That'll be, it won't be, it's gonna be behind the houses that are already there. They're gonna add a row of houses behind that with separate driveways. So they approved that housing development there. Excuse me, they approved the house on 6th Street, West 6th Street. The owner came back with his designs for siding and roofing and all that, so they approved that house on West 6th Street. They heard from Fat Sally's about their addition, and I think he is giving them more information. I think he said today, Monday, so he was gonna supply them with some more information today. They worked with the hotel people to, and they approved the lights for the hotel parking lot. There was some concern that the lights might have been too bright and so forth, but through the discussion, they have come up with a solution for that. So that was the Historic Preservation Committee. And on a related note, a gentleman who owns the Harbor High School property also owns the Wenner Field property, and he's gonna be having a groundbreaking pretty soon for the houses that are gonna be being built there. And they're gonna build a spec house, and he wanted to invite the city officials and the city committees to his groundbreaking that will be taking place there. We'll hear about that, I imagine, pretty soon. I think I've seen some activity. I know I've seen the electrical pole go up, and I think I've seen some materials there. All right, those were our two other committees.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I have a few questions about this historical preservation community. That I would like answered. And give me some rope, because I'm the new guy, and I really don't know. Exactly how large is this? Do we have?
How large is the committee?
No, how large is the area that
Oh,
they?
the district goes from Lake Avenue, from Walnut Beach down to Lakeway Restaurant.
Which is that 7th?
Yes, 7th Street. And then everything east of that to the river. It doesn't include the Harbor Plaza, because that's past 7th Street. So from Lake Avenue, no, from Walnut Beach down Lake Avenue to Lakeway, and then everything east of that to the river.
Okay.
And then there's that's the Harbor Historical District. Within the Harbor Historical District, you have on Bridge Street, from the river to Franklin Avenue, that's a special district called exactly what it's called.
It's actually on the National
Yeah,
Register.
it's on the National Registry District. Yeah, there you go.
Now, my next question is, then this includes all the commercial stuff and all the residential houses, is that correct? Okay, so for the benefit of me and everyone else that might not know, because obviously a lot of people don't, how does that process start? So if I want to make a renovation in my house, and I live in that, do they call me? Is that it's my ward, or do they call the city manager's office, or does this historical society have a phone number that you contact them, or a website? I mean, this has been thrown at me in the last month. What would be the initial contact for a project?
Mr. President, so typically they'll call the Planning and Community Development Department, and actually if they needed any kind of like building permits for anything that they were doing to the house, the county has been alerted that they need a zoning permit from us, that also, before they can issue a building permit out at the county. So they would call our Planning and Community Development Department, and we'd walk them through the process. Depending on the types of renovations they're doing, it may or may not need approval by the Historic Review Board. It just depends on what they're doing to the property.
Okay, so if it doesn't need a permit, if it's a renovation, it does not require a permit, how does that?
Well, if they're changing any colors, if they're doing any kind of modification to like window sizes or anything
Facades.
like the facade, changing a facade, changing a porch, changing any kind of look, that would require approval from the Planning Commission, or I'm sorry, from the Historic Review Board to do that.
Okay, so when it goes to the historical review, are those all documented? Like, does the historical review is Ms. Bell there taking minutes?
No, the committee does take minutes, but they are kept. Yes.
They keep minutes?
Yes.
And those are public record?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so like if a reporter from the Washington Post or the New York Times wanted to ascertain that stuff, they could get it?
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Hypothetical. So like, I was driving around the ward the other day, and there's a house on Walnut, 1235, that they look like they're doing a renovation. So that went to the Historical Review Board. Right? There was a roll-off dumpster there, and I drove by, and I saw like some work being
There's
done.
1235.
It's in the area that you described. It's definitely east of Lake.
Okay.
Is that the one right on the kind of on the corner right before you go down into the park?
Yeah,
I think it was pink before.
It's on Walnut. It's on the water side.
Yep. It's a
At
couple
the top of
houses.
Franklin?
Whatever that street is. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
So they went to the,
They should have.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're doing any kind of modification to the outside, yes, they should have.
okay, and, which looks like it's the case. But what, do we police that, or how does that work? I mean, how,
Yeah,
If somebody's doing work that hasn't been approved by the historical commission, then the city will send out a stop work order. And then, recently, there was a house on Sixth Street between Mother Sorrow's School and the hotel. There was a house there on Sixth Street. They started remodeling that. They hadn't gone to the historical commission. Then the city sent a stop work order on, and then they brought their materials. They made an application, brought their materials, they were approved, and then they have since resumed work on that project.
okay. And then I saw the email that went around about several expired terms on that. What is the process for filling those? Is there some kind of requirement? Is there some kind of resident requirement? Is there some kind of expertise thing? I mean, how do we go about replacing those people or vetting them if the people that are already on there choose to, like when the park people, we got that little application. I mean, is that process in play? How does that work before we vote on it? Because from what I'm understanding, you know, that's a fourth of my ward that you guys described, that, you know, they can pretty much hold hostage. I mean, how do we?
Well, they would express an interest in applying. It has to be a city resident,
Okay, has to be a city resident,
it's actually live or work. I
live or
think of
work
that
in
one.
the city, yeah.
live or work in a city?
So for example, like now there's a couple architects in there, there's a lighting specialist who used to work with Neela Park up in Cleveland, longtime real estate broker and agent and so forth. So people who have interest in that type of, an artist, you know, anyone who has interest in that type of area, and they would apply. There are some terms, and we've known about this for a while. And then what they will do is Ann and the committee they might have some names suggested for us. Sometimes a counselor might suggest. When I was on the board, I was suggested by the city manager at the time, and then I was reappointed by the council president at the time. So, you know, and then the names will come to council, and then council, like you would with the park board or the other committees, we would vote yes or no on that.
Okay. So, and they do keep records of all this stuff, and where would those be located?
I'm not, I don't know if it's the clerk that keeps those records or planning, or PCD.
I was gonna say, I think they might be, because I think what happens is, Ann will fill out a paper at the committee meeting, the chairman, Mrs. Rapuz, will fill out a paper, and then she will send that paper to the PCP department, and the developer or who's ever doing the project will go there and get their permits and everything that they need.
And that's located next door?
Yeah, just call us, shoot me an email, what you're looking for.
Now, what about, are any of the, like especially in the federal, are any of those people represented in any way, shape, or form? I don't know. I really don't.
Typically, the building owners and business owners that would be affected by that district, it's kind of hard to have on the board if they eventually might be voting on their own building. So I don't know if we've ever had,
No, we've never had anything, yeah, because they would just have to abstain.
they would have to abstain from, yeah. I don't know if we've ever had.
How many
anybody-
people are on that committee?
7 total. 4 appointed by council, 3 appointed by me.
Okay.
Are all those expired at this point?
My seats are not.
Our
I
seats
don't
are.
know if I don't know if all 4 of councils are or
I think
not.
3 are expired. I think 1 has expressed an interest in staying. 1 is deciding whether they want to stay or not, and so forth. I just didn't think this was a good time to make changes, maybe as we progress through the year, there might be a better time to do that.
Okay. Well, I definitely would like to be in the loop on that because that is my ward, if possible.
You guys have 4 votes, you guys have 4 appointments to that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So we,
yeah.
yeah, if they bring names, or you have a name, then you bring it to the committee or the council, and we can see. And of course, you know you're welcome to come to all the meetings. I sit there as a council representative, I don't vote, but I sit there, but they're open to the public.
And where do those meetings take place?
Right here.
Right here?
Yeah. And I think it's the second Wednesday of every month.
I think it
Second
is,
or
yeah.
no, second Wednesday, yeah. And then planning commission is third, yeah. So,
Thursday.
okay. Anything else? All right, we will have our legislation part of our agenda. If anyone would like to talk about any items of legislation only, the grant for the playground on Walnut Beach, the hiring of Mark Verzella, or an economic development district with the township, our tax budget, our tax incentive agreement for Fat Sally's, our tax abatement for Fat Sally's, a payment for the Ohio Department of Transportation, our increases and decreases in our supplemental, our funds, the changes to the codified ordinance regarding the temporary structures, adopting a new section of that 11105, replacing it and repealing it, entering into a agreement with Broach Tree Service for removing trees and stumps, and a resolution honoring Craig Pierce on his retirement from the city of Ashtabula. Would anyone like to comment on any of those items?
I would, Mr. President.
Yeah.
On 86 and 87, I'm not exactly sure what all that is.
What's that?
86 and 87.
Mr. President,
Yeah.
so
That's 86
anytime
and
with our codifieds that we suggest changes to a codified section, we do a repeal of that section and then replace that section. Those particular ones have to do with shipping containers, with storage units on properties, with the carports that you can kind of buy on Amazon that aren't really secured down. So this puts more definitions on those and restrictions on those as well.
Yeah, in the agenda, or in your packet, the changes are marked in red.
So we're getting rid of one.
So you repeal the whole section and then replace it with the new language so that it's not different words and different sentences that are just repealed and replaced. We do away with the whole section and then replace it with the new language.
So like behind my church, they had a tractor trailer for years back there. That would no longer be allowed, that they use for storage. It's not there now. It's probably been gone for 10
It
years.
probably shouldn't have been back then, yeah. But we're talking about there's a new kind of fad with these shipping containers that, we have people that have wanted to put them in their backyards as like a shed. And, some of them are really big. And neighbors aren't liking this very much, so we're trying to be a little bit proactive. We looked at a lot of other language from other communities. The bigger thing that we're having issues with is these carports that you can really honestly buy just about anywhere. They're so light and flimsy, and there's been damage and these things flying away. So we want to make sure that there are some regulations around these things.
And we have the ability to police that?
Yes. Yeah. Trust me, when anything happens on somebody else's property, your neighbor's gonna call us.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah?
All right, seeing no one wanting to address any of these items, Ms. Bell, you have a lot to read tonight.
Ordinance number 2024-79, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a grant agreement with Ashtabula County Board of Developmental Disabilities for the receipt of $500,000 ARPA grant funds to pay for the installation of an accessible and inclusive playground at Walnut Beach Park. Ordinance number 2024-80, An ordinance acknowledging the hiring of Mark Vazella as Superintendent, Class 4 of the City of Ashtabula Wastewater Treatment Division and approving additional paid vacation leave and compensation. Ordinance number 2024-81, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into an 8th amendment to the Joint Economic Development District contract with Ashtabula Township, Ohio. Ordinance number 2024-82, an ordinance adopting the tax budget of the city of Ashtabula for the fiscal year beginning on January 1st, 2025, and submitting the same to the Ashtabula County, Ohio Budget Commission. Ordinance number 2024-83, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a community reinvestment area tax incentive agreement with Corey Nagel for commercial tax abatement at 75% for 10 years for the expansion of retail space within 1569 Laird Drive. Ordinance number 2024-84, an ordinance authorizing the payment to the Ohio Department of Transportation for various change orders incurred on Project ATB US 20. Ordinance number 2024-85, an ordinance to make supplemental increases and or decreases to appropriations in the general fund, indigent alcohol treatment fund, court special projects fund, CDBG fund, housing code enforcement fund, workers' compensation fund for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Ashtabula, state of Ohio, for the period January 1st through December 31st, 2024. Ordinance number 2024-86, an ordinance enacting replacement codified ordinance section 1105.01. Ordinance number 2024-87, an ordinance repealing existing codified ordinance section 1105.01 for the purpose of adopting a new section 1105.01. Ordinance number 2024-88, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Bropes Tree and Stump Service for the removal of trees in various locations. Resolution number 2024-89, a resolution honoring Craig Pierce on his retirement from the city of Ashtabula.
Is it council's desire to handle these items in consent agenda format?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Foglio, a second by Mrs. Mills. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will do so by a 6-0 vote. Can I have a motion to waive the reading of this legislation in its entirety?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Foglio, a second by Mr. Simeone. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the entire reading by a 6-0 vote. May I have a motion to waive the charter requirements of 2 readings?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Foglio, a second by Mrs. Mills. Is there any discussion? Will you please call the roll, Ms. Bell?
Mr. Guerrero,
Yes.
Mr. Simeone,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich,
Yes.
Ms. Holman, Ms. Mills,
Yes.
Mrs. DeGiacomo.
Yes.
You forgot Mrs. Foglio. Yes.
Mrs. Foglio.
Yes.
So we will waive the 2 readings by a 6-0 vote. We will now vote on the adoption of the legislation. Would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Guerrero,
Yes.
Mr. Simeone,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich,
Yes.
Ms. Holman, Mrs. Mills,
Yes.
Mrs. DeGiacomo.
Yes.
Tonight's items of legislation have all passed by a 6-0 vote. Thank you, Ms. Bell. Is there any unfinished business before council? Is there any new business? Does anyone have anything for tell us something we don't know?
I do.
Yes, please.
So tax-free day is going to start Tuesday, July 30th, and go through Thursday, August 8th at 11:59. So get out there and spend your dollars.
I know you believe it. Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I've got a couple things. The GOCDC back-to-school event, I cannot believe it's coming up, Saturday, August 3rd, from 10 to noon, and the online registration ends this Wednesday. So they're giving away shoes and backpacks for school. They're gonna have lunch, an ice cream social, and a drawing to win a bike. So, yeah, we're talking back to school. Couple things, the band's on the beach, next Thursday, the 25th, it's gonna be Bobby Hayes and the H2O Band from 7 to 9, that's free at Walnut Beach. And I saw this on Facebook, so it must be true, right?
Right.
So, Mr. Manager, it was noted some vandalism at the old Hewlett uploader. Is that up by Point Park? Yeah. And so he used to be my neighbor years ago, and he works down at the dock. So it goes by Andre Houston. And I thought it was so cool, the guys, that they cleaned up that area. And I just wanted to say thank you for their community service to do that. I guess, I don't know how bad really it was, but can you?
Mr. President, so Ms. Mills, yes, our staff had actually gone out and taken care of the graffiti that was on there. They went a little bit above and beyond for some of the areas that were kind of rusted out and really needed to be cleaned up. They painted one of the loader buckets down there. So we're in the area right now, of course, with Wine and Walleye coming up in the next 2 weeks here, doing a lot of the sprucing up and getting things ready. But that was very nice of them to do, and we very much appreciate that. Mm-hmm.
Anything else, Mrs. Mills?
No.
Oh, thank you. Anybody else?
Mr. President, just
Yes.
talking about that, so please remember that Wine and Walleye is coming up the 26th through the 28th. If you would like to volunteer, there are links on Facebook to sign up to volunteer. We always need a lot of volunteers for that festival. It's a lot to put on. We have 2 individuals that have been busting their you-know-whats to put this event on. It takes a lot of work and a whole year's worth of planning to get this done. Friday night is actually going to be kind of like a locals night out. We're asking all the merchants to participate on Bridge Street. There won't be any vendors set up, but the road will be shut down. There's a 5K race that night, and we're hoping that a lot of those merchants will bring their stores kind of outside and have a real fun time Friday night. And then, of course, Saturday, the boat parade and the fireworks are probably the biggest hit down there. And then Sunday's just kind of a nice day to have with everybody around. So looking forward to another good festival and keeping fingers crossed for great weather.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Timoner. And the one thing fun about the wine, it's the whole weekend, but just as the people you talk to, they're just from everywhere. And that's just always fun to see.
Yeah.
People coming to our town from everywhere. And that makes
So
it fun.
I think as of yesterday, maybe today, we've sold a little over 70 of the VIP tickets for the fireworks up at the Wine Garden. I think we have a maximum of 125. So if you're interested in that, you can jump online and grab those tickets soon.
And do we know yet, will the hotel be open for that or not? I saw some pictures on the computer of the hotel lobby. Somebody took them, I don't know.
Yeah.
But man, it looks.
It's coming along really well. We're hopeful that it will be open. I think they have some arrangement for that weekend already, but I believe it's the following weekend when it's
Gonna be open.
going to be open. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Anybody else have anything for tell us something we don't know?
Mr. President, a couple weeks back, you guys authorized Holbert Avenue between East 6th Street and East 8th Street to go one way. There's some work being done right now for the curbing that's going on up there, and then as soon as that work is done, probably midweek, we will turn that into the one-way direction.
You mean west? West?
I'm sorry, west, yes.
Yeah.
Between West 6th Street and West 8th Street.
Yeah, the east side of Bridge Street. Yeah, but yeah, I know. Okay. Anything else? All right, very good. Nobody else has some, okay, so tell us then we don't know. Is there anyone in the public who would like to communicate with council at this time? Just approach the podium and state your name. Seeing no one, then we will adjourn our meeting this evening. Our next meeting will be Monday, August 5th, 2024. And we wish everybody a safe couple of weeks. Enjoy yourself. We'll see you at Wine and Walleye. Mr. Pierce, again, congratulations, and thank you so much for choosing Ashtabula. Good choice. Now Mr. Vizela has it, so we're happy about that too. So, thank you. So we'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you.